savings and service. By DraftKings. DraftKings has given out the opportunity to throw out the first pitch at a Mets game. Head to DraftKings.com/SNY. And by StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the New York Mets. It is time to vote for your Mets All-Stars. Vote 35 times on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot at Mets.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote at Mets.com now. Today's Twisted But True Fact is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. This season, the Pirates have converted the most double plays in the NL, while the Mets have grounded into the most double plays in the National League. Not a good combo for the Metsies. When we come back, first pitch, Gary and Keith on the call. Stay with us.
Day weekend, 80 degrees, bright sunny skies, and the Mets try to avoid a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Pirates before another sold-out house at PNC Park. Hi, glad you could join us. This is Keith. I'm Gary. Thanks to Steve for opening the broadcast today. Do you feel all refreshed having not worked that 10 minutes?
I love it when we don't have to do the open. Every now and again, our producer, Greg Picker, just picks us up on these wonderful day games, and you are right. What a glorious day.
Mets will be trying to avoid a sweep, and they'll be doing it without Lucas Duda and Juan Lagares, both down with minor injuries. They hope minor. Lucas tweaked a hamstring yesterday. Lagares continues to struggle with a bruised side and an elbow that's been barking since last year. And so the Mets will have what looks like a spring training lineup on the field today for the final game of this series. There is the Geico Mets starting lineup. John Mayberry in there in left field, hitting 5th. Wrecker hitting 6th. Siciliani starting back-to-back days. Ruben Tejada will get a shot at third base. With Eric Campbell slumping, that may be more than a one-day thing, as the Mets go up against the veteran left-hander Francisco Liriano.
Well, Liriano, the left-hander, 31 years of age, 77-76 lifetime record. Won 16 ball games for these Pirates his first year back in 2013. Last year, and those are the Toyota numbers. Last year, you see we've just off the screen now, but 7-10 last year with a 3.38. And we'll take a look at the Pirate defense. That's brought to you by Coors Light. Tabata gets a start today. A lot of with a day game after a night game. We've got a lot of guys in there. Jordy Mercer gets his first start at shortstop. They kind of switched the positioning here. Harrison goes to second. Gong goes from short to third. And, of course, Rodriguez is going to play first base today, and Cervelli, the former Yankee, behind the plate.
Clint Hurdle getting as many left-handed bats in the lineup, right-handed bats in the lineup as he can against John Neese. That looks like fun. Raft surfing or something. Curtis Granderson leads off. First pitch of the afternoon from Liriano is up and in, and we're underway. Granderson 1 for 7 in the series, hitting just 172 against lefties this year, but that's been coming up. Flores and Kadire to follow. The Mets as a team have hit 24 points higher this year against lefties than they have against righties, but a large portion of that, of course, was Lucas Duda, who had turned around his season against lefties but is on the bench today. Granderson chases away, and it's 1-2.
Curtis is having a little bit, I said it last night, a little bit of difficulty on that ball. Belt high up on the outside corner, outer part of the plate.
1-2 coming, and he strikes him out with the slider. Liriano fans Granderson to start the afternoon. 3 games in this series, Granderson has struck out to start all 3.
Well, Liriano is a fastball that will run into lefties, slider, and a changeup. He has some control issues. He's walked 6 batters in one of his starts this year.
And his last start, he got roughed up by his former team, the Twins, gave up 7 runs in just 2 innings. Wilmer Flores up second, takes a strike. By the way, the Mets have been striking out at an alarming rate during this latest stretch, and never more apparent than in the first 2 games of this series when both Garrett Cole and A.J. Burnett had double-digit strikeouts. Well, and amazingly enough, you got to go back to 1984, the last time that the Pirates had 2 starting pitchers have games of double-digit strikeouts in back-to-back games. So that's 31 years they hadn't done it.
You know who those 2 pitchers were?
It was John Candelaria and somebody else. It was the changeup by Liriano, and he's ahead on Flores 0-2.
Well, Candy could strike out some people. 84 was the resurgence of the Mets. The big, of course, the first year that lost the Cubs that year. Beginning of the big turnaround for the Metsies.
Flores fouls one off the right side. It was John Candelaria and Larry McWilliams. 2
lefties, 2 funkadelics, a side armor and a funky chicken motion that that McWilliams had. I did not like
funky
face.
Chicken
oh,
motion?
He was all elbows and you know what.
1-2 to Flores with 1 out. And Wilmer takes the changeup low and away 2-2.
Larry McWilliams was a very underrated left-handed pitcher. Had a split finger, hard slider, a fastball that ran in on your hands, and he had that weird motion, and he had a quick pitch to you all the time.
Pitched for the Braves as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Flores fouls one off the right side. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Francisco Liriano, second toughest to hit in the league at 186, and yet he has a 4.15 ERA. His problem has always been that he walks too many, and again this year he's in the top 10 in the National League in walks.
He's given up 6 home runs too, 5 to the right-handers.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming to Flores, and Wilmer takes it wide 3-2. Wilmer was originally down in the batting order today. Lagares was supposed to hit second, but Lagares got some treatment and told Terry Collins that he just wasn't good to go today. Issues that he's been dealing with for a while, and Terry's options get more and more limited by the day. Second baseman Harrison had him played perfectly, and Flores retired for the second out. Well, the Pirates shift more than any team in the National League, and that was a shift taking away a base hit.
Well, Clint Hurdle, it was a big article in the paper the day we came in 2 days ago, how Hurdle was overly old school and was convinced and kind of bought into the theory. And they are, I think, the only other team that shifts more than the Pirates are the Houston Astros. Another big shift right now.
You don't see that many shifts against right-hand hitters the way you see them against lefties, but the Pirates do, and they've got 3 on the left side against Michael Cuddyer.
So any ground ball, now remember, that's way over that first baseman. It's a long way to get to first base. Infielders got to be aware they got to hold that ball. I would like to play in the hole, Gare, but I never like to play that far off because that's a long way to get to first on a grounder.
Let me ask you this. Do you almost need your pitcher to break to the bag on any ground ball when you're playing that far off the bag?
Well, I don't think you do. Now, if Cuddyer was a very fast runner, you'd have to hug that bag a little closer. I have never seen anybody that far, and including myself, who I love to get in that hole.
Well, Sean Rodriguez is a guy who doesn't have that much experience at first, but he's a middle infielder by trade, so moves a lot better than your average first baseman.
Well, he wouldn't be there if the coaching staff didn't want him there, I guarantee you. So this is by design.
2-2 to Cuddyer, who's 0 for 4 in the series, and make it 0 for 5 as Lariano gets him. 2 strikeouts in the opening inning for Lariano, and the Mets are down 1-2-3. John Neese takes the mound when we come back. Starting line for the Pirates this afternoon brought to you by Hyundai. Other than the pitcher, an all right-hand batting lineup against John Neese. So Tabata gets a start, Rodriguez gets a start, Mercer gets a start, all for the first time in this series. Josh Harrison leads off against John Neese. Harrison riding a 10-game hitting streak takes a strike.
Well, there's Big John. Gave up 8 runs his last time out against the Cardinals.
Curveball hit well to center field, and over comes Siciliani, and he makes the grab for the first down.
And there's John Neese's Jeep numbers this year. The 8 runs he gave up was a career high. It was the 6th time in his career that he's given up 8 runs. His walks are down this year, but he always gives up a lot of base hits. Coming off of 2 shaky starts, 2 not so good starts.
Jose Tabata takes a fastball for a strike. Well, he was so-so in Chicago, and he was not good at all against the Cardinals his last time out. Gave up 5 extra base hits in 5 innings plus. Really got hit hard. And Tabata chases, and it's 0-2. Jose Tabata in the lineup for the first time for the Pirates this year. He had been in the minor leagues until Tuesday. 2 for 3 off the bench since he came back. Guy that they identified when he was a young player as a cornerstone, so they gave him a 6-year, $15 million contract to buy out his arbitration years and up to free agency. But it just hasn't worked out for Tabata, and guys like Marte and Polanco have stepped past him, and he was relegated first to the bench and then to the minors.
Well, he had the good 2010 year, his rookie season. He had 299. So-so years in 11 and 12, came back with 282 2 years in a row in 14 and 13, and he strikes out there.
He's gets him with a changeup, and there are 2 out.
And we'll take a look at your Metropolitan Lexus defense with a lot of changes here. Siciliani with Lagares not feeling well. That elbow in center field, Mayberry in left. Kadire third time at first base. Record getting the start behind the plate. Boy, the Mets really almost had to play Record today. Try to get some pop in the lineup with all the injuries.
Here's Andrew McCutchen, whose bat appears to be coming around, and he drills one foul.
Yeah, he's swung the bat really terrific last night against Matt Harvey. The 2-run shot early in dead center field. Hit a bullet off the right field wall. Looks like he's coming.
3 hits in that game yesterday. He had gotten off to a really slow start, battling a bulky knee, but he has continued to play, and he's got his average up over 250 now. East makes him move his feet, and it's 1-1.
Not good.
The Pirates had been a struggling offensive team until the last few days. Curveball fouled off. They're 12th in the National League in runs scored. The Mets are 13th.
Yeah, they're almost mirror images, although with the tough Met pitching staff, this Pirate team's starting to come alive with their offense. An awful long time here. You've got to call timeout. McCutchen only hitting .217 against left-handers this year, 5 for 23.
I have a feeling that might get better.
I think when it's all said and done, you know, the water seeks its level, cream comes to the top.
Well, McCutchen has been top 3 in the MVP balloting the last 3 years. Won it in 2013. One of the best players in the game. Neesmith is inside, and it's a full count.
Just a gorgeous day.
That's 2 Pirate outfielders of note side by side. 3-2 coming, and McCutchen lays off, and he stopped the swing in time. Ball 4. So a 2-out walk. McCutchen, the first base runner of the day. And Starling Marte will be the batter. Marte 0 for 8 in this series. Came into the series a hot hitter, but he has the best numbers among the Pirates against lefties. Unlike the Mets, the Pirates do not hit lefties particularly well as a team. 23 points lower against lefties than against righties. But Marte is hitting .417 against lefties with 4 of his 8 home runs.
Pirates have stolen 4 bases in this series. 3 the first night, 1 last night. So Neath is going to have to hold the runners closely. It's part of their weaponry.
Curve in for a strike, 1-1. Well, it has become rather obvious with this Mets team is they have got to get a well-pitched game to have a chance to win.
No.
They're not winning any 9-7 games. At least they have not to this date.
Well, you noticed yesterday, you thought that Duda tweaked his hamstring. I remember you mentioned it. And, geez, come to the ballpark today and he's got a bad hammy, and you hear about Lagares. You're going, when's it going to stop?
Well, this has been going on for a long time with this franchise. They seem to pile up injuries at an alarming rate year after year. Swing and a miss, and Marte is down on the high fastball. Second strikeout for Neese. And that gets us through the first inning. Each of the left-handers throwing up a 0. Second inning, no score. Daniel Murphy leads off against Francisco Liriano in the second. Murph's bat is really perking up, 4 for 7 in this series. And now the next step is to see if Murph can start hitting lefties, which he's always done well in his career. Just 161 against lefties this year.
Well, that's not going to be forever there. He's going to make an improvement on that.
By the way, when the Mets failed to score in the first inning, going down 1-2-3, it was the 22nd time in the last 23 games that the Mets have failed to score in the first inning. The last 23 games, their only first inning run was Curtis Granderson's home run that led off the game last Sunday.
Let's start that engine and get it warmed up a little earlier.
Yeah. John Mayberry on deck, then Anthony Recker. They've got the shift on against Murph, which I don't think we've ever seen. So the Pirates really going all out with these shifts. There's a new book written by Travis Sawchik, who covers the Pirates and has for a number of years for one of the local papers. It's called Big Data Baseball, and the premise of it is just how the Pirates have integrated analytics into the baseball side of their operation. And as Keith was talking about before, how Clint Hurdle was an old school guy, and he has really embraced the concepts wholeheartedly.
Well, he just said the data just kept coming up, and it made sense to him. I mean, we have never seen a shift on with Murph up.
And Murph gets out of the way as it clicks off the bat.
So my feeling is, how do you pitch Murph? If you're going to have ties him up inside, you can throw him an off-speed slider to try to get him to roll it over. But Murph has the ability, if you pitch him in, to inside out that way.
Right.
I mean, they're giving him the whole left side. There's basically no third baseman in that defense.
This is a shocker. I mean, I can't imagine that the numbers say this works, and it doesn't work, as Murphy promptly gets himself a base hit because of the shift. I mean, you know, you can look at all the data you want, but I can't believe that you would look at data on Murphy and think that this would be an effective shift.
Now that's the shortstop playing. I mean, excuse me, my mistake. That's the third baseman playing where the shortstop was. So all you got to do is just throw a little bat in the ball, and you got yourself a knock.
But it's like you said, if you're going to play that shift, you have to pitch him inside. You can't pitch him blowing away like that. Where else is he going to hit the ball?
I would tend to agree, and I would not shift on Murph. I'm sorry, I would not do that.
So here's Mayberry, 0 for 1 in this series, getting the start in left field. He has started every game the Mets have faced a left-hander this year. This is the 10th game that the Mets have faced a left-hand starter.
So evidently the Pirates got beat against Minnesota off Joe Mauer's base hit, where they put the same shift on, and he got a little ground ball bleeder on the left side of the infield. And Clint Hurdle's comment was everybody raises Cain about it when it blows up, but no one says anything about it when it works the 5 times prior. And so, you know, it's you're playing percentages.
Right. And that's understandable. And again, when you get guys who are demonstrated pull hitters, it makes sense. But when you get a guy like Murph, who's an all-field hitter, I'm not sure
it can handle the bat.
Right. Well, that's the other piece of it, isn't it? That it's not just what guys have done historically, but what adjustments they are able or willing to make. And for a lot of these big left-handed pull hitters who've been facing more and more shifts the last few years, the answer has been they've made no adjustments at all. So of course you keep shifting on them like that.
Well, they talked with Gong too about it, because Gong was very reluctant to shift, and coming from Korea, and
pulled down to third, and a fair ball going down the line off the bat of Mayberry. Murphy to third. Marte plays the carom, and Mayberry standing at second with a double. And the Mets have second and third and nobody out. First double of the year for John Mayberry.
Looked like a changeup, stayed back.
Catcher, number 20.
Now there's a fastball. Pulling that high fastball right down the line. And what looks like a lineup that might be taxed to get runs on the board. Mets are in business here. They haven't had too many big inning opportunities in this series thus far.
Anthony Recker hitting 6th in the order, making his 9th start of the year. Last time he was in the lineup against a left-hand starter, he had 2 home runs in Chicago against Travis Wood. Infield back. And Cervelli able to scoop it up. Ball 1.
We're getting back to Gong. Gong was reluctant to make the change, and now, of course, he's a player. He has to. The manager insists. But the funny part of his quote in the article was, when over in Korea, the only guys we played the shift on were those foreign Americans.
Big American sluggers, yeah. That makes sense. The record takes a strike. 1-1. Darryl Siciliani is on deck. One of 3 lefties, 4 if you count John Neese, in the lineup against Liriano today. But the funny thing about Liriano this year, he's been much tougher on the righties than the lefties. Righties are hitting just 168 against him, lefties 244.
Well, I talked with Recker before the game and asked him what Liriano has. He said his fastball runs away from me. He goes, the only time he comes in is when he comes in with the slider. He doesn't come in with a fastball. He comes in with a slider. And he sprinkles in a changeup every now and again.
Popped up foul. That'll come back and out of play.
Which I like to hear, because I don't want guys to go to the book or the computer and have to read, well, you know, off what this guy throws. You should know.
In the case of the Mets, they faced Liriano only once before, and that was in his Pirates debut 2 years ago at Citi Field.
And he got a win.
He did. He struck out 9 5 1/3, gave up 1 run. In fact, he was matched up against Neese that day as well. 2-2 to Recker. Struck him out on a slider in the dirt. Cervelli makes the toss, and that's the first out of the inning. 3rd strikeout for Liriano.
Well, simply chased a bad slider down.
So 1 out. Now it's Siciliani. Got his first big league start yesterday. Went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
It was a tough day at the ball yard for Darryl.
And now being asked to face the left-hander. Siciliani 1 for 7 to start his major league career. 24-year-old from Oregon.
2 called 3rd strikes yesterday.
Goes after the first pitch slider, 0-1. Ruben Tejada is hitting 8th in the order, playing 3rd base today. He's on deck. Those are Siciliani's terrific numbers from Vegas. Part of the problem, of course, with having your AAA team in Vegas, where the air is thin and the ground is hard, it's very hard to differentiate the legit numbers from the inflated numbers. Siciliani, for instance, 5 home runs in Vegas. Had never hit home runs before.
Well, that was like the California State League, too. That A-ball league was a big hitters league. You had Reno, which is up in the altitude in the Sierra Nevadas. The ball carried in all those Modesto, Fresno, Stockton, Lodi,
Visalia,
Bakersfield. Touche.
I said Visalia because the Mets had a team there for a few years. Siciliani strikes out on the slider. So Liriano, faced with 2nd and 3rd and nobody out, has himself back-to-back strikeouts. Now we'll see if they walk Tejada to get Denise.
Chased a bad slide ball there.
I would imagine after seeing Tejada homer off the left-hander yesterday, we might see an intentional pass here.
I wouldn't. Let's see what they do. They're going to go after him. Yep,
yes,
I agree.
You are correct.
He's hitting 214, so.
Homered against Antonio Bastardo yesterday, and his only at bat in this series, his first home run of the year. So the Mets trying not to waste 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. And Tejada takes a fastball for a strike.
Well, here's the home run yesterday from Tejada. It was a late entry into the game. Just into the front row.
Ruben getting his 12th start of the year. 2nd time he started at 3rd base with Eric Campbell slumping. And he takes a strike. And it's 0-2. Murphy led off with an infield hit. Mayberry doubled. Now Liriano on the edge of getting out of trouble. struck him out. 3 straight strikeouts for Liriano, and the Mets waste a big chance in the second inning. Wipeout slider. Still no score. During today's game, you can get interactive with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Oh, I had been waiting to read that. Jung-Ho Kang leads off against John Neese in the second. Kang 2 for 8 in this series.
Playing every day now. Kang hitting .307. I think 89 at bats coming into this game.
When they signed Kang out of the Korean baseball organization, the Pirates really did not have a spot for him. They gave him a 4-year deal, $11 million plus $5 million posting fee. But with Alvarez going to first base and Walker entrenched at second, Jordy Mercer coming off a terrific year at shortstop, and Josh Harrison at third, they had no place to play him. But with Mercer struggling early in the season, they were able to spot him enough, and now he's become the most of the time shortstop for the Pirates, at least for the moment. Drives one to the gap in left center. Over comes Mayberry, who can't make the diving catch, and it goes all the way to the wall. Kang to second, takes a turn and holds on there with a leadoff double.
And this ball is ripped. Big leg kick. He likes the ball middle in. Has a little bit of trouble with off-speed pitch of what I've seen so far from him, which is very limited. Of course, you can watch his front leg kick. Gets a little rhythm going, and he almost does like a little funkadelic there with that foot. But it's all rhythm, so it makes him a fastball middle-in hitter. And you can get him out in front with that high leg kick.
Sean Rodriguez takes the backdoor curveball off the plate. Rodriguez getting the start at first base today, his 8th start of the year. Former Tampa Bay Ray. Guy who can play just about anywhere for you, and he already has for the Pirates. And Neese runs that fastball on the inside corner, 1-1.
John throwing a little more inside this game. I thought he was on the outer edge too much against the Cardinals.
Francisco Cervelli on deck. Neese gave up 8 runs and 11 hits in that start against St. Louis. And it all really tumbled downhill for him. Gave up a run in each of the first 4 innings, and then the Cardinals erupted for 6 in the 6th. Nice didn't get anybody out in that inning, and that's how he wound up with the 8 runs against his ledger. Cardinals, meanwhile, since that series, have moved on to Kansas City, and they have been stifled completely by the Royals, who just look fantastic right now.
Royals are pretty good, aren't they?
I mean, great pitching, great defense, and enough offense.
They beat them 2-1 last night, correct?
Well, it was 3-2 was a rain-shortened game. Yeah. But with the Cardinals losing, the Cubs are now just 2.5 behind St. Louis. They've closed a lot of ground in a hurry, and the Pirates now 6.5 back. 1-2 to Rodriguez. Broken back grounder that'll advance the runner. Wow, Dyer takes it.
I do not know how he was able to hit that ball to the right side of the infield. This is a breaking ball down and in. How did he get it over there?
Got off the handle.
Jeez. Come away with no fingers.
Well, the Mets are struggling offensively right now, so in a scoreless game in the 2nd inning, they're going to bring the infield in.
You just never used to see this. You see it more frequently in today's game.
I just think it's a function of the Mets not scoring at all right now.
Yeah, certainly.
Francisco Cervelli, 1 for 3 in the series, hitting at .287 for the year. And he takes up and in.
Basically, Cervelli is a singles hitter. The Pirates really haven't got any home runs from their catching position this year. They miss Russell Martin.
And each runs the cutter inside. It's 2-0. Well, the Mets have scored 3 runs or fewer 18 times in the last 25 games, and so Terry Collins, knowing his team is up against it, particularly today with Duda and Lagares on the sidelines, needs to try and choke off this run. Gong at 3rd and 1 out, and Cervelli bounces one foul.
The Mexican hat dance.
Is that in your honor?
I hope not. The guy here used to play Hernando's Hideaway for me when I came up. He was always very clever, did the ethnic songs with each player. So mine was always Hernando's Hideaway, which I didn't mind. I kind of liked that song.
Olay. Cervelli pounds one into the ground, a foul ball, and it's 2-2.
Jonathan pitching inside. Wow. Let's talk about establishing in. I think he learned his lesson. And I do think that Jonathan maybe took too much off his fastballs last outing to be precise. And you know what? It's a fine line taking off a little of your fastball. Go ahead and let it loose.
Jordy Mercer on deck. 2-2 to Cervelli, and he's not for the first time. Taking a long time trying to get together with Recker on the signs. Did that with McCutchen in the last inning.
Wow.
Two coming. Runs that one inside. Full count.
Good eye by Cervelli. That's a nice attempt right there by Nice to get him to fish for a bad pitch. Little cutter down and in.
Recker caught Nice's last start as well. 3-2. Struck him out. There's a big strikeout for Nice. Got it up to 90 miles an hour for his 3rd strikeout. And now there are 2 out.
Put a little something extra on it. Well done. And inside again. Right to the glove.
So 2 out. We saw the Mets, the Pirates not walk the 8-hitter. And the Mets will go the opposite direction, and they will walk the 8-hitter. Jordy Mercer's hitting 171, but Terry Collins opting to issue the intentional walk and bring up the pitcher.
Well, Liriano 1 for 14 on the year. Not a particularly good hitting pitcher.
Well, but again, I think this, as much as anything, is a function of just feeling you can't give up a run. That you have to make sure that you put up a 0 in this inning and you worry about the next inning, even though it gives you such a great advantage to have the pitcher leading off the next inning. Clint Hurley went the other way. Mets had second and third, 2 out. They went after Tejada and struck him out. And now Nice will lead off the next inning for the Mets. So it's all a matter of philosophy, but it's also a matter of how your offense is performing.
You get no argument from me, Gary. You got my vote.
So here's Liriano, lifetime .089 hitter with 3 career runs batted in. He started out his career in the American League with Minnesota. When Liriano came up with the Twins, he had a fantastic rookie season, and he was Santana Light. He was a second version of Johan on that same pitching staff. He went 12-3 with a 2.16 ERA his rookie season. Then he had Tommy John surgery, and it's been a roller coaster for him ever since.
He had a great year the first year with the Pirates.
And a decent year last year. His 1-loss record wasn't good, but his other numbers were. But if you want an indication of how Liriano's career has gone, Liriano twice has been named Comeback Player of the Year. I think that tells you everything you need to know. He's been down, he's been up, he's been down again. High, now it's 2-1. A must-have out for John Nice, trying to work around the leadoff double by Gong. Josh Harrison would be next. Mets are trying to avoid getting swept in Pittsburgh for the first time since 2009. The runner goes from first. It's a call strike, and the Mets will let Mercer go, and we're not going to get involved in a delayed double steal. The official score just called that defensive indifference, but that's not. That's a stolen base. They'll have to change that. It's a misunderstanding of the rules. 2-2 coming to Liriano. And he's ready to go. And it's a looper. Murphy back and gets there for the out. Well, the way things are going for the Mets and for John Nice, you almost expected that ball to fall in. But he gets the key out and keeps it a scoreless game as we go to the third in Pittsburgh. A good opportunity in the second and bypassed it. Mets will send up John Nice to lead off in the top of the third. Francisco Liriano gave up 2 hits to start the second, a single and a double, but struck out the next 3 hitters. And so he remains in a scoreless game. The Pirates, who have had terrific starting pitching this year, are about to get fortified.
Yeah.
Charlie Morton is coming off the disabled list after hip surgery, and he's going to make his season debut tomorrow.
They're going to put Vance Worley back in the bullpen. Vance Worley, remember, he came up with the Phillies, and I thought he was going to be really a heck of a pitcher, but boy, went to the Minnesota Twins, didn't fare well there. It's kind of bounced around.
He has 3 hits this year, and he takes a strike. I just saw a note, which I think will be rather fascinating from a Mets perspective, even though it has nothing to do with them at the moment. Last year, Casey McGee had a terrific year with the Miami Marlins, and the Giants signed him to replace Pablo Sandoval at third base. But McGee has gotten off to a terrible start as Neist lines one the other way, and he's got himself a leadoff hit. 4th hit of the year for John. And the Mets have their 3rd hit against Liriano.
Well, John can swing the bat.
Right fielder Curtis Granderson
Does a good job staying level. But you were saying, Gary, about
anyway, McGee is hitting 200 through his first 35 games, and the Giants have just designated him for assignment, which I think has got to immediately prick up the Mets' ears. And I know McGee's gotten off to a bad start, but he had a very good year last year, and he is he's a grinder. He's a guy who could plug in at third base until David Wright is healthy, and I would have to think that the Mets would be on the phone with Brian Sabean and figuring out how to get McGee here.
What was his salary?
Check that for you. 1 year, $4.8 million. So you're talking about picking up $3.5 million in salary. I mean, if this team wants to win, they've got to do something. I mean, David Wright apparently is not coming back anytime soon. Whether it's middle term or long term, nobody knows. But that would seem like the kind of relatively low cost, potentially high payoff acquisition that you should be able to get for virtually nothing in terms of player cost if he's already been DFA'd. Maybe they'll take Kirk Neuenhuis. Trade the DFA for the DFA. 3-1 now to Granderson, who struck out his first time up. I mean, the Mets have to do something to tweak this offense.
The injuries are excessive, and they're hurting this ball club.
Granderson drives one deep center field. McCutchen back, and he gets there on the warning track. Ball hit hard by Granderson, but it's the first out.
Thought he hit that ball better. I thought I had a chance to get out of here.
shortstop Wilmer
McCutchen
Flores.
patrols that center field pretty good. Easy play for him.
Won a Gold Glove in his career. That was in 2012. Seems like we've said that a number of times this year with some of the Mets veteran hitters, that it seemed like he hit the ball better, but it didn't go. 1 out and 1 on now. Wilmer Flores, who grounded out his first time up.
Got a westerly breeze today. Flags. Not a whole lot of wind, just blowing from, looks like, from right field corner to the left field corner.
Line center field, base hit. So Flores able to rifle one up the middle. And the Mets have 2 men on.
Well, Flores starting to swing the bat a little better. Likes that ball belt down, doesn't he? Stays nice and level on that pitch down the middle.
So 2 on and 1 out. Now Michael Cuddyer, who struck out his first time up. Michael playing first base today. Got the day off yesterday. Had the 3-for-3 game against the Cardinals on Thursday, and so far 0 for this series. It's just been hard for Michael to get any kind of consistency going and put 3, 4, or 5 good days in a row. teams have tapped foul, and it's 0-2.
He's been pulling a little bit in this series. He was trying to go the other way at home, the last homestand. And now he seems to be getting a little out in front again. It's that back and forth of trying to find your rhythm as a hitter.
Cervelli smothers that one. It's 1-2.
Nice block by Cervelli. It's the old Pirate uniforms, aren't they? The caps. Uniforms of the 70s. Early 70s.
Right, before 76.
Yes.
Strike 3 call. Cuddyer struck out for the second time. That's 6 for Liriano. And Michael goes away shaking his head at the home plate umpire Mike Winters.
Well, did it get the outside corner? Let's see what Cervelli does with his glove. He didn't move it. He held it. He framed it.
So 2 out and 2 on. Now Murphy, and a less severe shift against Murph this time. He rolled one with them playing the over shift, rolled it to the left side and got an easy infield hit his first time up.
Well, they're playing the second baseman, Harrison, way to pull. So a ground ball to shortstop, he's going to have to go to first for the out. Ground ball to third, the shortstop can come in and get the force play. But there's no way Harrison's going to cover second base on a ground ball, Garrett.
One to Murphy. Murphy now 5 for 8 in this series. John Mayberry on deck. Mets left 2 in scoring position in the second. They've got 2 aboard here in the third. Liriano dials that, it went up to 95, and it's 1-2.
Down and in.
And goes around strike 3. Got him with a bad slider out of the strike zone. 7 strikeouts in the first 3 innings for Francisco Liriano. And the Mets strand 2 more. Still no score. Top of the batting order coming up. Let's check in with Steve Gelbs.
Gary, one of the cool new features here at PNC Park this year, and I might stay up here for a little while, it's called The Porch. Look at where you can watch this game. 25 people can be out here. You've got couches. It's like you're sitting in your living room. Free food in the back after you pay for the tickets. Phenomenal place to watch the game here in left center. Great view. It's like a big screen TV sitting outside here.
Josh Harrison takes a strike. Well, Steve, this is your first trip to PNC Park. What are your impressions?
Honestly, it's one of, if not the favorite ballpark that I've seen so far, that I've been to. Aside from this porch here, which isn't exactly classic ballpark style, I think that's the one thing that really stands out, is that you get the feel, despite the fact this park hasn't been around for a long time, you get the feel that you're in a park with a lot of history, double-decker. It's got that old classic ballpark style, plus the view out here, the Allegheny and the Roberto Clemente Bridge, pretty hard to beat.
Infield hit for Josh Harrison, despite Murphy's diving stop. And that's how the bottom of the third starts for John Neese. Well, what's nice about this ballpark now, which it wasn't when it first opened in 2001, is it's full on a regular basis now. When we first started coming here, the Pirates, despite the fact they had this beautiful ballpark, were a terrible team. And, they had this long drought of winning seasons, and the fans just did not come. But the last 3 years, this has become the place to be.
Only 2 decks, 2 levels here, a upper deck and a lower deck. And really, we're at the level of probably the top row of the upper deck, and there's not a bad seat in this ballpark. A lot different than old Shea. When you sat in the upper tank, sometimes you're up there in the fog.
No, it's similar to Citi Field in that regard.
Yes.
That the seats are all much closer to the field than in the older ballparks. I mean, here they played in Three Rivers Stadium for 30 years, and it was not designed for baseball, and the fans were much further from the action. Tabata chases one up and away, 1-1. Of course, the Pirates for over 60 years played at Forbes Field, which is located where the University of Pittsburgh campus is now.
Right. They've got a monument there to old Forbes Field. I do think they have a portion of the fence.
Well, they have a portion of the fence, but they also have home plate, which is right where it was, but it's in a closet in the law school. There you see Forbes Field was the home for the Pirates for 61 years, Three Rivers for just over 30 years.
That's where Ralph played, at Forbes Field.
Down the right field line, Granderson takes a look, but that's in the crowd.
Well, Ralph was the all-time leader home runs at Forbes Field. There you go, right there, 457, and that was a big ballpark.
That is actually still standing at the University of Pittsburgh. Still looking good. It's a long way, 436 feet.
Ralph hit 175 home runs at Forbes Field. The closest player to him was Clemente with 86. And then they moved to Three Rivers. And of course, Willie Stargell's the all-time home run leader there, 147. Barry Bonds, number 2, with 89. And McCutcheon's the leader here.
Took the lead yesterday. Tabata chases the changeup. And that's the 4th strikeout for Neese. 1 down in the 3rd.
Oh, there you have it right there.
Our graphic agrees with it.
And you Met fans, you've seen enough of Stargell. Stargell hit more than a few home runs at Shea Stadium.
It's 60 against the Mets. That's still the record, despite the best efforts of Larry Jones.
There are monuments outside to their star players outside of Ralph's hands. They're gigantic, and I kind of like it. It's different.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The Cardinals have tiny statues, which they're diminutive. I don't like them.
Well, they have a lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody else is more life-size, but they're like giants. Stargell, Clemente, Mazeroski. And I really like it. They're sprinkled around the ballpark.
Yeah, the statues themselves have become iconic, and fans gather around them, take a lot of pictures. They become meeting points.
You can see the size of them. They're just huge.
Willie Stargell.
It's like the land of the giants. I like it.
See fans taking pictures right around Pops' statue. Ranging wide, Tejada from his knees doesn't have a play. He was thinking when he came up that he'd have to play on Harrison, but he's just too fast. And was into second base before Tejada could look there, and then adjusted, tried to get McCutchen, and that was too late as well.
Ranging way to his left. Now Harrison just hustling here, and gets his teammate McCutchen a base knock.
So 2 infield hits in the inning.
That was a very wonderful shot there.
Well, if you're partial to the rear view of Nick Leyva,
a little southern exposure.
So 2 on, 1 out. Now Starling Marte, who struck out his first time up. Marte now 0 for 9 in this series. He's had to work around trouble in the second inning. Liriano has done likewise in each of the last 2 innings. But as yet, nobody's cracked. Harrison at second, McCutchen at first. A lot of speed on the bases for the Pirates. And Marte takes a strike on the inside, and it's 0-2.
And he's still pounding in. Like it.
John's ahead in the count, 0-2. And Marte fouls one off. Change up from Nice. Jung-Ho Kang waiting on deck. Pirates have been struggling before this series began. They had lost 6 of 7. But they have perked up. They had their best 2 starters in the first 2 games of the series, Cole and Burnett, and they were right on top of their game. And got plenty of offensive support as well. Pittsburgh looking to get to the postseason for the 3rd straight year after going 21 years or 20 years without a postseason berth and without a winning record, which is just incredible when you think about it. I mean, the Mets have a 6-year streak of not having a winning record, and it feels like a lifetime. Imagine as a fan going 20 years without your team having as much as a winning record.
No, I couldn't fathom that.
But, you know, there was such latent support in this town that once the Pirates got good, fans came back in droves.
Well, this is a hockey football town. Steelers are big here, but they'll come out. I think the ballpark has a lot to do with it, too. I mean, that old Three River Stadium was, you know, no Coliseum type park, typical of those parks they built in the 70s, early 70s, multi-purpose stadiums they were called, right, Garen?
They had some great teams in that ballpark.
Oh, they sure did. I played against a few of them. They had some lumber, the lumber company.
Strike 3 called. Marte caught looking. Strikeout number 5 for John Nice. 2 out of the inning.
Pitching as much as I've seen him pitch inside in his entire career. I think Recker has a lot to do with this. Recker calls a very aggressive game.
So now 2 out and 2 on, and it's Kang who drove a double to left center his first time up and led off the second, and Nice was able to pitch around trouble. Now Kang up with 2 on in the 3rd, and the curveball low and in. He's behind for a rare time today, 2-0.
It's nice to be at the ballpark and just hear in the background the people. What is it? Probably around 40 plus here. Hear the murmuring of the fans instead of music.
Off the glove of Nice. Flores makes the throw to first in time. Great adjustment by Flores. cutting to his right and throwing out Gong for the 1-6-3 putout. And that gets these through the bottom of the third. Flores moving to his left on the grounder, had to readjust back to his right. Nicely done by Wilmer. Still no score in Pittsburgh. Fourth inning, John Mayberry leads off against Francisco Liriano. Mayberry doubled over the third base bag his first time up. It's at second and third, nobody out in that second inning, but did not score as Liriano struck out the next three.
9 outs, 7 of them strikeouts.
Well, that's Liriano. He's always been a big strikeout guy. Gong lets it go. Mercer has to avoid Gong and make the throw in time. It was not easy.
Nice play, but this is the big leagues. It's a ground ball. Should be a 6-3 in your scorecard. Nicely done. Throwing on the run. Piece of cake.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Anthony Recker, who struck out his first time up. He was the first of those 3 consecutive strikeouts with 2 in scoring position. Talking about Liriano and his strikeouts, there are only 4 active pitchers who've made at least 200 starts who've struck out more than a batter per inning in their career. Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Tim Lincecum, and Francisco Liriano. Probably not the one you would have put in that quartet. But he has been that kind of pitcher this year. 9.8 strikeouts per 9 innings.
6 Cy Youngs in that group.
Career 9.2. Yeah, and Liriano does not have one of them.
Precisely. What, Lincecum's got 2. Kershaw's got 2. 3 for. Trying to think.
1 for Scherzer.
3 for Kershaw.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's right. I forgot he's won 3. What a career. And Kershaw's been struggling a bit.
He's been human this year.
Yes,
Lincecum, though, has been resurgent.
Yes. He's pitched well. And Scherzer's been pitching with hard luck, and he's now, what, 5-3? And he could easily have 8 wins.
He'll be fine.
The Blue Nationals are now scoring runs.
They got held in check by Cole Hamels last night.
Hamels is pitching good now.
Just waiting to see where the Phillies can figure out to trade him. I mean, that's the Phillies' main goal this year, is to trade as many veteran players as they can. And with Ryan Howard starting to hit, now all of a sudden you're hearing talk, well, maybe they'll be able to deal him and all that money. Strike 3 called. Rucker is the 8th strikeout victim for Liriano. And we look at the next 3 series. The Mets and Phillies, a couple of day games in that series tomorrow and Wednesday. Mets have done well against the Phils this year, but the Phillies playing much better now. Then the Marlins come in, finally got a win last night, 13 innings to get Dan Jennings' first win as new skipper. And then the Mets go to San Diego and Arizona. It's been a rough road for the Padres, who got off to a good start. We're scoring tons of runs with all their new acquisitions, but Will Myers is hurt. Matt Kemp has cooled off completely, and they are now in a real bad tailspin. Nothing to Siciliani, who struck out his first time up.
Bit of a long swing, Siciliani.
Struck him out on 3 pitches. That's 9 strikeouts in the first 4 innings for Francisco Liriano. Mets continue to strike out in droves. Still no score. Home 4th inning. Sean Rodriguez leads off against John Neese. Rodriguez grounded out weakly to first base his first time up. That got a runner to third with 1 out, but Neese was able to work out of that and worked around a couple of infield hits in the 3rd as well. Rodriguez, Cervelli, and Mercer 6, 7, and 8 in the Pittsburgh batting order. And a check swing tapper, and it's 0-2. John Rodriguez last year 96 games with Tampa Bay at .211, but he hit 12 home runs, a career high with the Rays.
A career high 41 RBIs, lifetime .225 hitter, Garrett.
But he's been a play all over the place utility man, defensive replacement mostly for the Pirates.
You know, he came up in 2008, so that's a body of work. So you can kind of say he's a .225 hitter.
Originally drafted by Anaheim, but has spent his career in Tampa until this year. Just off the plate with the fastball, and it's 2-2 to Rodriguez. This has been a favorite stopping off point for John Neese. He's made 3 prior starts in this ballpark, and he's won all 3 of them with a 2.41 ERA.
3-1 lifetime against the Buccos. This is his 7th start.
It really is a great park for a left-hand pitcher because left field is so cavernous. 383 to straightaway left, and 410 to left center.
That's a little more in the gap, and that's a big gap. When you get closer to center field, it gets 410 out there where that bullpen is. That's a long way.
So you have to cover a lot of ground if you play left field in this ballpark.
325 down the line if you pull it, but it goes out quickly.
Yeah. Seen a couple tucked into that corner, but not many. Right field 320, and it does not jut out, but you got the 21-foot fence.
I'll take
strike 3 called. Another inside pitch by Nice to get a strikeout. It's his 6th of the afternoon.
Well, maybe John has learned something here. This has just been okay. You're on the bench. It's like, hey guys, pitching is in. You got a whole lineup of right-handers. I always said, pay attention and watch. If you're a left-hand hitter, watch how they're pitching lefties. If you're a righty, watch how they're pitching the righties. This is only left-hand hitters. The pitcher, Liriano. Got to kind of look in, don't you?
Cervelli takes a curveball for a strike. Well, Nice with 6 strikeouts, that matches his season high. He's never been a big strikeout guy. Never had more than 10 in a major league game. Cervelli fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Cervelli struck out his first time up. With the Mets in town, it's a good chance for Francisco Cervelli to renew acquaintances with his old batting coach Kevin Long.
Oh, I ran into him last night. They were out together, Kevin and Francisco. And I saw him at a restaurant. As a matter of fact, you were there. You saw him too. Meat and Potatoes was the restaurant we were at, and it was meat and potatoes.
It was good. You enjoyed it, right?
Yeah. Producer can eat, boy, I tell you.
In the hole, Flores. Desperation throw. He got it there on target, but too late to get Cervelli. Another infield hit for the Pirates. Their 3rd in the last 2 innings.
Well, just hit it in the hole. Nothing Flores can do here. Strong throw, really, from that hole. With the momentum carrying him towards the left field line.
So 1 out and 1 on.
Smell that hit. Clearly safe.
Michael Cuddyer playing first base today. 3rd start at that position this year. So now the number 8 hitter, Jordy Mercer, who was intentionally walked his first time up. Mercer has seen his playing time dry up with his 171 average. Last year he had 255, 12 homers, 55 runs batted in. With his defense, certainly was expected to be the everyday shortstop this year, but his lack of production and Gong's emergence have conspired to limit his playing time. Change up away, and it's 2-0.
Well, when you got a guy that can play shortstop like Mercer, and he had 255 last year in 49 games, 500 at bats. You know, you'll take 250 from him, but not when he's hitting 171.
And you know, last year he had some pop, 12 home runs, none this year, and 111 at bats. It's that one in the air to deep left field. Back goes Mayberry to the track near the wall, and it's off the fence. To 3rd is Cervelli being waved home, and he is in with the first run of the game. An RBI double for Jordy Mercer. 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Wants it away, got it in, and he turned on it. Just out of the reach of Mayberry. And Mets are a tad challenged defensively. Mayberry doesn't cover a whole lot of ground out in left field. Cervelli runs well for a catcher.
So the Pirates break the ice here in the 4th inning. On Mercer's RBI double, just his 4th extra base hit of the season, and now Liriano fouls one off. So Nice able to tiptoe through trouble each of the last 2 innings. But this time the infield hit winds up costing him. Liriano waving at the curveball, and it's 0-2. When you talk about the Mets being challenged defensively, it's not always about errors. It's about balls not gotten to.
Right.
Balls in the hole. Balls over outfielders' heads. Balls in front of outfielders. It all adds up. And it's awfully tough when you're trying to build around young pitching and you don't have great defense. It's not true with Neese because he's a different kind of pitcher, but what you worry about, at least I would worry about, is your young pitchers sensing that they have a challenge behind them as Liriano grounds out and try to strike everybody out, because that's not healthy for anybody.
Well, no, and you got to it's the same thing with hitting. You got to stay within yourself.
Second baseman, Josh Harrison.
I mean, basically, if you look at this defense right here, Garrett, you're a Stratomatic fan. I mean, you've got Kadire's probably a 4. You got Murph's a 4. And that's just strictly range in Stratomatic. The rating system in Stratomatic is if you're a Gold Glover, you're a 1. Lagares is a 1. If you're a good fielder, very good fielder, you're a 2. If you're challenged a little bit, fair to Midland, mediocre, you're a 3. If you don't cover a lot of ground, you're a 4. And there's very few 5s. You know, the Mets would have basically a short second and first, 4s. Mayberry's going to be a 4 in left field. So the defense is it's a little tough.
Down to third. Tejada handles it and throws out Harrison to end the inning, but the Pirates strike first. Jordy Mercer with an RBI double. And that has Liriano with the Pirates ahead of Neese and the Mets 1-0. Get to Citi Field Saturday, May 30th, when the Mets take on the Marlins at 4:10. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Mets beach towel courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/beach towel. People's United Bank starters so far today. 15 strikeouts in just 4 innings in this game. Pirates scratched across the first run. And the Mets down 1-0 as they come to bat in the 5th. Ruben Tejada leads off and takes a strike from Liriano. Tejada struck out his first time up. 9 strikeouts in 4 innings for Liriano. And in 3 games in this series, and we still have a half a game to play, the Mets have now struck out 31 times. 10 strikeouts for Garrett Cole on Friday night. 12 strikeouts yesterday and 9 already today. And as Terry Collins has said a number of times over the last couple of weeks, he said you know, if we have big power hitters who are, you know, in double digits in home runs at this point, I don't mind strikeouts. He said, we're not that kind of team.
No.
We have got to be a contact team. And if that's the case, you can't be striking out 10, 12 times a night.
Speed and defense, pitching and defense. There's old baseball axioms. They haven't changed.
Well, the other thing that's changed for this team this year is they've been very effective on the road the last few years. Not this year. In fact, they're dead last in just about every major offensive category away from home. On the other hand, they're 17-6 at home.
Reflective on their home record too, Gare. 7-14 away this year.
Just off the plate, Liriano thought he had it. Didn't get the call, and it's 3-2. Liriano hasn't walked a batter. In fact, the Mets have drawn only one walk in this series to go with the 31 strikeouts. That's the other alarming trend. And Tejada draws a walk. So the Mets have a leadoff base runner. Hey kids, you can win a chance to join us in the booth and call a Mets game on SNY. Just go to sny.tv/Kitcaster. Submit an essay on the topic provided, and you'll be entered into the SNY Kitcaster contest presented by New York's 529 College Savings Program. Bunting opportunity for John Neese, who has a hit already today. One sacrifice this year. But he takes the Butcher Boy hack. Harrison comes into field, and it has the effect of a sacrifice, if not the scoring. It moves Tejada to second with one out.
Very interesting. We're talking about Mets struggling to score runs. You'd think it'd be an automatic sacrifice. John swings the bat well.
Especially lefty on lefty.
Yes. Well, it gets the job done.
So a runner in scoring position with one out. Mets have had 5 at bats with a runner in scoring position in this game, and they have struck out in all 5.
Now this may be an example of trying to do too much, Gary. I mean, you're a pitcher. That's maybe you're trying to do too much. Make things happen offensively. Just get the bunt down.
Do you think that was Neese on his own, or do you think that was called from the bench?
You got to bunt with the pitcher and your lefty out there, and the left-hander's got 9 strikeouts. You know, you got to bunt him over. You're down a run. You're down by a run in the 5th.
It would surprise me that he would have the go-ahead to do that on his own. Granderson strikes out for the second time, and that is now 10 strikeouts for Liriano, matching his season high.
Boy, Granderson just having a hard time. One for 10 in the series. Left-hander's been kind of eating him up a little bit.
But the one ball hard his last time up to the warning track, but now a couple of strikeouts on his ledger today. Here's Flores. Single to center his last time up, 1 for 2. Tejada at second and 2 down. Mets down a run in the 5th. Up the middle, and Flores has a base hit. Tejada around third. He'll score the tying run. Wilmer Flores gets the Mets on the board with an RBI single, and it's a 1-1 ball game in the 5th.
Well, nicely done, Wilmer. 2 balls, 2 base hits today, both up the middle. Little running fastball away. 2 outs on contact. Tejada should score, and does easily. Ball's down, I bet. What I tell you, below the belt. He loves it. Stays very level on that ball out over the plate, a little below the waist.
Well, the Mets scored just their 4th run in this series, and it gets John Neese even. So Liriano unable to put up a shutdown inning after his team gave him the lead. Kadyr's been up twice, struck out both times, swinging in the first, looking in the third. And they have the shift on against him again, leaving the whole right side of the infield open. Last time they had Rodriguez playing way over in the hole on the right side. Can't do that here with a runner at first. Kadir finds that hole. Flores pulls in at second. So they put on the massive shift against Kadir, and he found the open space, much as Murphy did earlier.
Well, when you got to hold a runner on, that really opens up that right side. And again, why wouldn't you pitch him in? Change up, I believe. Right on it. Full intent to go that way. Well, you could drive a freight train through that side of the infield.
So that gives Kadir his first hit in this series, and puts 2 men aboard for Murphy. Murph made enough contact to roll one to the left side with nobody playing there for an infield hit in the second. Then he struck out in the third, 1 for 2. Now he's got the go-ahead run at second base. Flores at second, Kadir at first, and 2 down. Both these pitchers up with their pitch counts, despite the 1-1 score. All the strikeouts for Liriano. Neese has had tons of traffic. Liriano at 85 pitches here in the 5th. Neese already at 81 through 4. Murphy lays off, and it's 2-0.
Well, Liriano's got a real hard down slider. It's like has a downward tilt, and it's a big. He throws it hard and it breaks a lot. But the guy that has the downward tilt in that slider, you've got to make them get it up. I know I always say there it is right there. You can see that downward tilt. But it's always got to be your focus. Okay, what's his big weapon? His big weapon is that slider, and he likes to get you to fish at it. You know, around mid calf. Make him get it up.
3-0 to Murphy, and that's a strike. Kadir at first, Flores at second, and Murphy draws the walk, and the Mets have the bases loaded. Second walk of the inning for Liriano, and John Mayberry will come to bat with the bases full.
Left fielder John Mayberry Jr.
Well, Mayberry the last 10 days has had some bases loaded chances. Won a game for the Mets with that infield hit in the 14th inning. Ray Searage, the Pirate pitching coach, on his way out to talk to Liriano.
Well, Ray Searage, former Met, left-hander, has done a terrific job here. They say he's really got an ability, and that's what's really what coaching is all about, is not making drastic changes, working with your talent. Everybody's different. Everybody has different stuff. How do you get the most out of it from each individual? And I think that's the key to being a good coach. And they say that Ray Searage is one of the best at it. And there's a guy that, you know, just had a cup of coffee in the big leagues, Garrett, basically.
But long enough to be a trivia note in Mets history. 1,000 winning percentage as a Met, he was 1-0. 1,000 batting average as a Met, he was 1 for 1. The only player in Mets history who has both distinctions. So Rob Scahill up in the bullpen for Pittsburgh as Liriano struggles here in the 5th. About to throw his 90th pitch. Tie game. Mayberry at the plate, doubled over the third base bag and grounded out 1 for 2. And Cervelli able to get enough of that to keep Flores from scoring.
Always in these situations as a hitter, love to get ahead 1-0 with a slider, not even close, a breaking secondary pitch. Bases loaded, he can't fool around. He's already walked 2 guys in this inning. Pressure's on Liriano.
Now it's 2-0.
Well, this is ideal.
Mayberry has one grand slam in his career. Came from the Phillies 2 years ago. Popped it up. Rodriguez hoping. Can't quite reach it. And Mayberry has a life. See, now they used to have a first baseman here in Pittsburgh who could make that play.
Yes.
I don't know if he ever made one like that as a Pirate, but he certainly did as a Met. Talking about Ike Davis.
Of course.
Two and one to Mayberry. We have the bases loaded and 2 down. House foul. 2-2. Always pays to bring a glove. Well, that's one thing the Mets have done very well this year. They have one grand slam. That was by Flores. 436 with the bases full, and Mayberry's had part of that. 2-2. Struck him out with a changeup. Number 11 for Lariano, and it helps him limit the damage in the 5th inning. Mets settle for the 1 run and leave them loaded. Mets have already left 7 runners on base. Halfway through, Mets and Bucks tied at 1. Home 5th inning. Jose Tabata leading off against John Neese in a 1-1 game. Tabata has been up twice and struck out both times. There have been 17 strikeouts already in this game as Tabata runs up as though to bunt and takes ball 2. So the Mets have been struck out 11 times today by Francisco Liriano. We told you earlier that the first 2 games of this series with Cole and Burnett was the first time the Pirates had back-to-back games with the starter striking out 10 or more since '84. Well, it's the first time they've had 3 straight starts of 10 or more strikeouts since 1969. Bob Veal, Bob Moose, Doc Ellis. And the last 2 came against the Mets in September of '69. A week later, Bob Moose pitched a no-hitter against the Mets at Shea Stadium.
Bob Moose had the big fro, remember?
That's ball 4, and Tabata's on with Neese's 3rd walk of the game.
That no-hitter was at Shea Stadium, correct?
At Shea Stadium 4 days before the Mets clinched the National League East. September 20th. They clinched on the 24th against the Cardinals. But think about that. The Mets have watched the Pirates staff in this series do something that they hadn't done in 46 years.
Stick around.
Well, they're not playing the Pirates tomorrow.
And they don't play them like they used to. What a shame they're not in the same division.
No, the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Cubs, they all used to be part of the National League East.
I know what they're doing with the 3 divisions, but to me. But you know what? The new generation that never even knows about 2 divisions.
That's drilled down the left field line, but hooking and foul. McCutchen hits a bullet. 1-1. Well, to me, it's not the 3 divisions, Keith. It's the interleague play.
Yeah.
If you got rid of those games, those would create more games against the other divisions.
I agree.
I don't think anybody, other than the rivalry games, really wants to see interleague play. McCutchen fouls it off, but they've locked themselves into it now with these 15-team leagues. So unless they rectify that, we're stuck with interleague play forever.
Just don't bring the DH to the National League, please.
Amen to that. Neese's pitch count getting up there. This will be his 90th, working in the 5th inning. And McCutchen hits the curveball to center field, hit well. Siciliani back near the wall, and it's out of here.
Boy.
Andrew McCutchen homers for the 2nd straight day, his 7th of the year, a 2-run shot. And the Pirates go back in front 3-1. A great player who has all of a sudden gotten very hot.
Yep. At the expense of the Mets. Pretty much the same spot, down and in. He hit the ball, it was fairly down and in against Harvey, but hit it further. That's some power. Little lazy breaking ball, that's what did it.
Slow ground ball by Marte, and Nice makes the play for the first out. Well, McCutchen now 6 for 9 in this series with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. And Nice finds himself back on the short end.
Down and in breaking ball. Look at the eyes on the ball. He's got a nice swing. McCutchen. And he is catching fire.
Now Jung Ho Kang 1 for 2, and he takes inside 1-0. Well, the Mets have a long inning in the 5th. Couple of hits, couple of walks, but scratched out merely 1 run. And now with 1 swing, McCutchen brings home 2. It's a very demoralizing turn of events. There's a strike, 2-1. Kang drilled a double to left center his first time up against Nice, and then with 2 men on in the 3rd, Nice got a piece of his ground ball, and Flores made a nice play to throw Kang out. Tries to hold the swing, but he went around, and it's 2-2. Eric Goodell is up in the Mets bullpen. Goodell pitched on Friday night 2 very impressive innings. He's threw 92 pitches in his last start, going 5 innings plus. He's already at 95 through 4 1/3. Full count to Kang with Sean Rodriguez on deck. It's too high, held the swing that time, and it's ball 4. 2nd walk of the inning, 4th of the day for Nice, and he may be nearing the end of the line. And Worthing's going to go out for conversation.
No, they can't let this get any further here. Got to keep his team right here. You know, John can blow up, has blow up innings when things get a little tough on him. He can get a little rattled.
Ricky Bones just waved the towel in the Mets bullpen, which means that Goodell is ready to go if needed. Nice is going to get one more batter with Sean Rodriguez coming up. So 2 walks in the inning sandwiched around McCutchen's home run, and now Rodriguez has grounded out and taken a call third strike, 0 for 2. He's got off to such a terrific start this year. Allowed 1 earned runner less in 5 of his first 6 starts. Not coming as easily now. Here's your Dodge 5th inning recap. Mets tied it in the 5th on a Wilmer Flores RBI single, but they've left 7 runners on base. And Francisco Liriano has struck out 11 through the first 5.
Don't like the body language I'm getting from John here. He's starting to miss his pitches, and he's starting to fight himself, and he's really got to conquer that and get over doing that. He's a veteran.
His 100th pitch bounced to short. Flores going to go to first with it, and the tag by Kadire for the second out. Not sure why he didn't go to second. Do you think he had time?
I thought he had chance. You always want to get the lead runner. Keep that runner out of scoring position. And I thought he had a shot here, Garrett. We'll take a peek. You are correct. He's coming in here. Just throw that ball right away. I think he could have got the lead runner.
Would have been close. So he took the shore out. Now they're 2 away and a runner in scoring position for Cervelli, who had an infield hit and scored a run in the 4th. Starting on the Mets' next road trip, they're going to institute the much talked about 6-man rotation. Dylan G is going to make 1 more rehab start and then join the rotation when the Mets are in San Diego.
Well, here's the play again, and if he comes up and throws, remember how Carpenter the last series at third base turned double plays, throwing a second on the run? I think he's got him.
Well, according to what we just saw, Gong was 5 steps away from second base. Took 5 more steps after Flores picked the ground ball. Anyway, I was going to say about the Mets going to the 6-man rotation, the one thing it will do, it'll enable them to push their starters a little deeper into games with the extra rest. 1 and 2 to Cervelli, and here we see Nice up to 103 and still going.
That's a good point, Garrett.
Come on.
G joined the team here in Pittsburgh, and unfortunately his equipment got left behind and is stuck in an airport in Detroit, and so he did not throw a bullpen session, which he was supposed to. So he'll do that tomorrow and then go to Binghamton to make a rehab start on Thursday. Fly ball shallow left. That's going to fall in for a base hit, and that'll bring in a run. Don comes in to score. Cervelli with an RBI single, and it's 4-1 Pittsburgh. So the failure to get the out at second cost the Mets another run.
Costly. Jammed Cervelli, and that's going to be all for Nice. And I just can't emphasize enough. You always want to get that lead runner, and if you have to come and charge the ball, which Wilmer did, your intention is to keep the runner out of scoring position.
Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Nice out after 4 2/3. We'll be right back to Pittsburgh. Well, for the third straight start, John Neese goes away very unhappy. Leaves down 4-1 in this game with 2 out in the 5th. Eric Goodell comes in to face Jordy Mercer and misses with a curveball. Mercer drove in the first run of the game with a double. Second outing in the series for Goodell, who threw 2 hitless innings on Friday night. He's been awfully good.
He really only got touched up that one time when he gave up a couple runs.
Fly ball hit to left, and Mayberry barely has to move. And that retires the side, but the Pirates put up a 3 spot in the 5th, fueled by the suddenly raging hot Andrew McCutchen, the former MVP. It's his 2nd home run of the series and his 7th of the year. And the Pirates lead 4-1 after 5. Well, looks like we have a little confab, little meeting of the boards.
Just a nice lazy Sunday afternoon along the Three Rivers.
Can we call it the boardroom? Francisco Liriano now with a 3-run lead as we start the 6th. Anthony Recker leads off. Recker's been up twice, struck out both times. 2 of the 11 strikeouts for Liriano, most by an opposing starter against the Mets this year. And Recker chases the changeup way out of the strike zone. It's 1-1. Daryl Siciliani on deck, and then Ruben Tejada for the Mets as they try and fight back here in the 6th. Mets have had some golden scoring chances. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out of the 2nd. They didn't score. Left the bases loaded in the 5th. Left 2 men on in the 3rd. 2-1 to Recker. So Liriano has bent but not broken. He's given up 6 hits, walked 2 over the first 5 innings, but just the 1 run.
Nice changeup. 2-1 changeup.
Jared Hughes up in the Pirate bullpen as Liriano approaches 100 pitches for the afternoon. 2-2. Just missed. Full count. His 100th pitch. Gets Recker looking for his 12th strikeout of the afternoon. 3rd time he's fanned Recker. One out and nobody on. Let's check in with the studio. Jonas Schwartz has a game break brought to you by Honda. Those two teams have split the first two games of that series. Siciliani with a wild hack. He's been up twice, struck out both times. Of course, the Phillies are coming to Citi Field tomorrow to start a 3-game series, and much unlike the last time the two teams met, the Phillies are getting hot and the Mets are in a very cold spell. Liriano ahead 0-2. And Siciliani makes contact, but he breaks his bat in so doing. And he'll go back for a new one. The Phillies will not have either of their top two starters facing the Mets in the series. Cole Hamels pitched yesterday, Aaron Harang the day before. So it's Severino Gonzalez, the Panamanian right-hander, then Jerome Williams and Sean O'Sullivan in the 3 games at Citi Field against Colon, DeGrom, and Syndergaard. But Chase Utley has begun hitting better, and Ryan Howard is red hot right now. He's got 10 home runs. He's up to 268.
They've been playing better under Ryan Sandberg.
And, you know, they brought up the kid to play third, Maikel Franco. They sent Cody Ashley down to the minors to learn how to play left field. And now they're trying to trade Ben Revere to make room for Ashley in the outfield. Of course, they're also trying to trade everybody else. But Revere has, you know, some solid value. But Franco's played well, too. That just missed. 2-2. Franco's played 9 games, hitting .286 with a couple of home runs already. So that gives him a little younger look, a little life for a Phillies team that is so old. 2-2 coming. Siciliani hits it right to the second baseman, and Harrison picks the line drive for the second out. Hard hit ball, nearly ate up Harrison, but he makes the play.
Well, nothing seems to be going right here. I sense a lot of frustration. Harrison on the backhand.
Saying it sunk on me. Came back in. A good movement. 2 out and nobody on. Now Tejada, who scored the only Met run today after a walk in the 5th. Trying to drop down a bunt. Game changer brought to you by T-Mobile. Pirates starters in this series all have struck out in double digits. First time since 1969 the Pirates have done that in 3 straight games. Liriano topping them all with his 12 today. You know what we have neglected to do today amidst all this unhappy talk? It's a very happy day. Today is Bartolo Colon's birthday.
Oh.
He is 42 today.
That's right.
Tomorrow he will take the mound at Citi Field against the Phillies on Memorial Day. Today, cake. 1-2 to Tejada. And that'll be a serious start for Colon too. He's been cuffed around a little bit over his most recent starts.
Mr. Zimmerman from Minneapolis turns 74 today also.
Bobby Dillon?
Yes.
Two and 2 to Tejada. Eric Campbell's out on deck to pinch hit if Tejada keeps the inning going. Campbell getting the day off today, mired in a nasty slump. Tejada taking his place at third base. Two out and nobody on. 2-2 to Tejada. And Ruben grounds one slowly. Gong ranging wide. Throws him out to end the inning. So Liriano finishes his afternoon with a 1-2-3 top of the 6th. That's down 4-1. Francisco Liriano getting congratulations after a job well done. 1 run allowed, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. And he is done after 112 pitches. Gregory Polanco will bat for him, leading off in the bottom of the 6th. Polanco started the first 2 games of the series in right field, went 1 for 6. Polanco, then Harrison and Tabata against Eric Goodell, who get the final out of the 5th behind John Neese. Neese's final line today: 4 2/3, 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks, 1 intentional, 6 strikeouts, and a home run over 104 pitches. Polanco just 1 hit in his last 25 at bats. That's why that average is down below 240. And Goodell struggling to get his breaking ball over. It's 2-0. Polanco just 23 years old. Came up with a bang last year and then tailed off.
He's got a long swing, Gare. When you have a long swing, he's got a little loop in it too. That's not a very descriptive adjective for the folks there, but it makes it tough for you to get around on a fastball. It's something you want to correct quickly, or you're going to have a hard time.
He lines one the other way, and Polanco's got a pinch hit single. So the Pirates get the leadoff man on for the 2nd straight inning. Well, we spent the weekend in Pittsburgh, which was founded in 1758. Second largest city in Pennsylvania, but you probably knew that. City of Bridges, and you might have known that. What you might not have known is that the first polio vaccine was given by Jonas Salk at the University of Pittsburgh.
That's right.
And you knew about Heinz ketchup, I'm sure, but the Klondike bar, maybe even more importantly, was invented here. First commercial radio station, KDKA. Lots of football talent here in Western PA, including Mr. Namath. Drilled to right center, and over comes Siciliani to make the catch, retiring Harrison for the first out. So I believe we're all a little more educated now than we were a minute ago.
Jose Tabata.
1 out and 1 on now. Jose Tabata. It didn't say anything though. We showed 2 separate screens of information. There was nothing in there about Primanti brothers. Which is probably, you know, the most important thing to know about Pittsburgh. The Primanti sandwich.
Oof.
We did show them on Friday night though.
For me to have one of those, I've never had one, but for me to have.
Which is phenomenal to me that in all these years of coming to Pittsburgh you've never had one.
I've never had a, what's the big Philly sandwich?
Cheesesteak?
I've never had a cheesesteak.
How is that possible?
Just not interested. I'd have to lose 15 pounds, Gare, to have a Primanti Brothers, whatever you want to call it.
See, I think you're just an elitist. You're just you're a high food guy as opposed to a low food guy.
Hey, I'm a blue collar.
There's the Primanti sandwich.
Tell me, folks,
with the slaw and the French fries in the sandwich.
Come on,
nothing like it. Got to do it once.
I'll let you folks at home make the choice.
So you're saying, are you denying being a food snob? Tabata grounds one to Tejada. He'll go to first with it and get the out there. 2 out, and Polanco moves to second. Meat, cheese.
Did we have
the tomato on there?
Oh gosh.
French fries, the coleslaw.
What kind of meat is it?
You know, you have your choice. I always go with the fried bologna. But you can, you have your options.
What are the other options?
Whatever you'd like. McCutchen, after hitting a 2-run homer his last time up, will be intentionally walked. And they'll pitch to Marte with 2 men on.
And this is supposed to be the key to the sandwich.
Well, that's what makes it different. Normally you have the fries on the side with Primanti.
Does that guy have any gloves on? He better wash his hands. Oh my goodness. Ron Darling just passed out at home watching that.
Forget about Ronnie.
So evidently you can do turkey, pastrami, ham,
Yeah,
or the meat.
any way you want to go.
Bologna.
So the intentional walk complete to McCutchen. He's on base for the 4th straight time. And now Marte will come up with 2 on.
Left fielder, Starling Marte.
Marte 0 for 3 today. Struck out twice and hit a comebacker against John Neese. Now facing Goodell. And the Mets try to hang around in this game. Down by 3 runs already, playing with a makeshift lineup. Mets bullpen continues to pitch well. In the month of May, the pen has an ERA of 1.53. Despite all the changes that have been made in that bullpen since the beginning of spring training. 6 guys still on the shelf. That's it in the air to deep left field. Mayberry back near the wall. It's out of here. Starling Marte, a 3-run homer, his 9th of the year. And now the Pirates have broken it open. They're up 7-1. First home run allowed by Eric Goodell. As Marte swings at the first pitch and cracks a 3-run homer.
Fastball right down Broadway. And this Pirate team, they're first ball fastball hitters. And this is a nightmare series here in Pittsburgh in more ways than one.
Jim-Ho Gong takes a strike. Well, save for the game the Mets beat the Cardinals on Thursday behind Jacob deGrom's extraordinary effort. The Mets have basically been blown out 5 of the last 6 games if you count this one. 2 against the Cardinals in the middle of that series and all 3 in this series.
Pirates have found their bats.
One thing the Mets could rely on the first 6 weeks of the season was strong pitching, but that's starting to falter a little bit. Gong lifts one to right center. Who's going to take it? And Granderson, with Siciliano trying his best to call him off, grabs it for the 3rd out. But Starling Marte takes Eric Goodell deep for his 9th home run of the season. Pirates' 2nd home run of the day, and it's 7-1 Pittsburgh after 6. prominently located throughout the city of Pittsburgh. There's always one within walking distance. Are they buying time on our broadcast, by the way?
I don't know. It's free advertisement.
Gregory Polanco stays in the game in right field. Jared Hughes on to pitch. Johnny Manel pinch hitting. And he rolls the first one out to Jordy Mercer. One pitch and one out in the 7th inning.
No, there's Jared Hughes. Had a big year last year. 63 appearances. 64 in the 3rd innings. ERA 1.96. That's a heck of a year right there. Big guy, 6'7", 242 pounds. Born in Stamford, Connecticut.
But played his college baseball at Long Beach State and at Santa Clara. So he went west, young man.
Santa Clara, the Broncos.
Curtis Granderson, 2 strikeouts and a fly ball out against Francisco Liriano, who fanned 12 in his 6 innings of work. Today after the post game, from those who've made the jump to the majors to those waiting for the call, get an inside look at some of the Mets' top talent in Vegas and the challenges they face being so close yet so far. On Mets Insider, presented by WB Mason, today after the post game, only on SNY. Well, because of all the injuries the Mets have suffered through this early season, plenty of folks down in Vegas have already gotten a chance to make the jump to the big leagues. Granderson hits one well out to left, chasing Marte back, but he gets there, and that's the 2nd out. But I think the larger question for this organization is, for all that they have done to try to minimize injuries, whether it's be careful with the pitcher's innings, whether it's instituting the strength and conditioning programs the last 2 winters with Mike Barwis, whatever they've done, this organization seems especially beset by injuries year after year after year.
Yes.
Is it just bad luck, or is it something that needs some further introspection on the part of this organization to figure out why?
I do not believe in bad luck. And then maybe there has to be a reevaluation on the conditioning. I personally think that the players work out too much, particularly in the season. It's a long year. There's much more travel, much more weariness, leg weariness, which can give you pulled hamstrings, which what Lucas has. I'd like to see the guys just not be baseball rugrats. If they come to the ballpark, they live in the bunker down there.
We'll talk more about that when we come back from break. It's down 7-1 at the 7th inning stretch.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you now to stand.
The Negro Leagues, two prominent Negro League teams were located here in Pittsburgh, the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords, and all the great stars of those teams, Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, all are paid tribute to in that Legacy Square exhibit. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Citi. Citi is calling up a local restaurant to be featured at Citi Field this season. Vote for a favorite now at Mets.com/Citi-Call-Ups. Get to Citi Field Sunday, May 31st, when the Mets take on the Marlins at 1:10. The first 15,000 fans will receive Mets sunglasses courtesy of Verizon. After the game, all kids 12 and under can run the bases in the Mr. Met Dash. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Fans have been up and stretching. Sean Gilmartin will come on to pitch for the Mets as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Well, the bullpen's been getting some work here, and you're losing ball games. You're going to be using your bullpen. And Sean's been doing a good job. Good numbers. Getting lefties out. He's got the big curveball. He likes his curve. Rule 5 guy.
Well, we were talking last half inning about the Mets' newest rash of injuries, and I think it's important that you differentiate between the traumatic injuries. You know, Travis d'Arnaud breaks his hand, Dilson Herrera breaks his finger, Lagares makes a diving catch and his elbow goes into his ribs. Those things are going to happen over the course of a season. But it's the other things. It's the pulled quads. It's the pulled hamstrings, like Duty yesterday, right earlier in the season, the back problems. Are those things that can be avoided? Is there a way to figure out how to minimize those things? I know that the Mets have been very vigilant about trying to figure out how to do that. And I think some of the new training methods that they've used have a lot to do with that. But is there something that's missing?
Well, I'm no expert, I haven't studied kinesiology and all that stuff, and certainly they've advanced a lot in conditioning. But I do think this sport is particularly different, that it is a marathon, and you play 162 and 182 days in the dead of the summer. You've got to be strong in August and September. There's much more travel today than there was when I played. There's 2 more teams out west. There's another series of trips out west that they have to take. I, for one, Gary, my own personal experience, and it's a nice play by Flores there on the run, is I was afraid when lifting came in. I started lifting a little bit latter part of my career. I'm going to say around 85, and I was reluctant to do any weights with my legs, the machines, because I was afraid I'd get too strong and it would tighten my muscles. And I stretched all the time. That's one thing I always did. And I know these guys are stretching too. But what I'm wondering is, if you're building up muscle, is it creating tension like a piano wire, in your hamstrings, in your quads? I tore my quad when I was a young kid, a teenager, and I pulled my hamstring later in my career. That was my first injury after 13 years of never being injured. But I was afraid to do that. I always ran long distance, and that gets your legs strong, and playing every day keeps you strong. I don't feel you need. Those are things you can do in the off season. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on this.
And the other piece of that is, are the Mets doing more lifting in season? Are they pushing all that too hard? Any different than any other team? That's hit hard, and a base hit for Cervelli, his 3rd hit of the game. You know what I'm saying? Other teams don't seem to have the same kind of rash of injuries that keep their players out for significant periods of time.
I don't know. I know one thing. When I started lifting, Gary, I never lifted before a game. Why? I don't want to tax my muscles and tire myself out and get tense after even though it was a light workout. Maybe you do light weights and reps, lots of reps. That was for after a game, and I didn't do it every day. I did it every other day. And I would do it after the game so I can go home, get a good night's sleep, my muscles can recoup. And I don't know. These guys are here at 12 noon. I don't know what they're doing down there. If they're lifting during the day, that's something I wouldn't recommend.
Well, a lot of them lift before games. Some of them lift after games. They don't do it every day, but again, that's something I think that's prevalent throughout the sport. And certainly disabled lists have grown year by year across the sport. But it just seems as though this team, year after year, has had the multiplicity of injuries, and a lot of those are pitcher injuries, and that's a whole different subject. When you're talking about keeping elbow ligaments from tearing and building up shoulder muscles and doing all the things that they're trying to do to keep pitchers healthy.
There's always been hamstring injuries and leg injuries, pulls in baseball. The rash of core injuries is alarming to me.
Right. The intercostals and such.
And
this was Duda yesterday.
Duda just, those things happen. You run, you tweak. You can see right there. Yep. So they're going to have to be careful with him, by the way. You know what, Gary? I work out now every other day, and I try to keep the weight off. And I work on my trainer works my core, ball 4 right there, a lot. I do a lot of stomach exercises. And you know what? I walk around sometimes. I get in the car, and I'll cramp up in my stomach. That would scare me if I'm playing. Because you got to have trunk rotation. And when you hit, and I think, you've got to have, it's good to have a core, but you can't be a strong core. But is it really essential? You don't have a 300-pound lineman landing on top of you. That's football, where you need a strong core.
Right.
Like I said, I am no expert on this. And to me, it would be during the season, and I'm sure they do it. It's just maintenance. It's just keeping. I can't think of the term. I would do my heavy lifting in the off season to get stronger, but when the season comes, it's just keeping tone, staying toned, because you just can't quit, because then your muscles will turn to flab. You got it, but it's going to have to be just light work, and I'm sure they do it that way.
Then I think that's really what they're trying to do. Now, again, everybody in the sport is concerned about the prevalence of injuries in the game, and you make great points about more travel than ever, fewer off days than ever. That's hit off Gilmartin, deflects to the right side, and Murphy can't pick it up cleanly, and the bases are loaded. So Polanco banking one off the pitcher for an infield hit, and we'll see if Gilmartin's okay. Not sure where that got him. Derek Collins and the trainer Ray Ramirez are going to come out to see.
Got his foot, didn't it?
Foot you don't worry about usually. Yeah, it looked like it was back of his heel, so he should be fine. And
we have real small monitors here. I get a lot of reflection off my monitor. I have a hard time.
Anyway, what I was going to say is there's enough concern about those issues that the new commissioner, Rob Manfred, has even floated the idea of reverting to a 154-game schedule.
I read that article. It was around, last week, and I welcomed that kind of thinking. And you know what? The World Series is going to go into November this year because they started a week later. Mm-hmm. You don't need to go to November in the World Series. You got extra tier of playoffs. I think it should go to 154 games.
Well, certainly there are going to be plenty of owners who are going to say, well, I don't want to lose 4 home dates. That's going to cost me a lot of money. And in order to convince them, you're going to have to show, how many fewer injuries might you have? How much dead money on the disabled list would that save you if you have less tired players and might get hurt a little bit less? Because I think fatigue is a big issue. Whether that's the fatigue of the schedule and the travel, or what you talk about, the fatigue of too much time in the ballpark. Harrison hits one well to center field. Siciliani has room. Tagging at third is Cervelli. He'll come in to score. Mercer moves up as well to third base. And the Pirates tack on a run. It's now 8-1.
Well, I like this Josh Harrison. He's a loose swinger. Let's go with one hand. Like what I see, and you see the hitting streaks right now.
It's brought to you by DraftKings. Well, Harrison started cold this year, but he has gotten very hot lately. Now Corey Hart's going to pitch in for the Pirates. Longtime Milwaukee Brewer who has had so many injuries to deal with over the last few years. Hart's first appearance in this series. And that's hit toward the middle of the diamond. Flores unable to knock it down. Trying for third is Polanco. He'll make it without a throw. The run is in as Mercer scores. And now it's 9-1. How many infield hits for the Pirates in this game?
Well, Flores doing the best he can here, going to his left. The ball was not hit that hard, but we've talked about the range on the infield, and with Murph and Flores in the keystone positions up the middle.
That's 5 infield hits for the Pirates today among their 12 hits. So now McCutchen has been on base 4 straight times, 2 walks, an infield hit, and a 2-run homer that put the Pirates in front in the 5th. It was a 1-1 game. He hit a 2-run shot into the bullpen, and Gilmartin works inside ball 1. Anyway, all these are questions that have to be addressed at a much higher level than ours, for the good of the sport and for the good of the Mets. And it's especially disturbing when their marquee player with the longest contract and getting the most money is out with what could be a rather serious back problem. How serious? Nobody seems to know. Change up by Gilmartin, 2-1.
Took something off that pitch, had him out in front.
Into shallow right. Granderson coming on to make the catch. And that retires the side, but the Pirates tack on 2 more. That's getting blown away in this series, down 9-1 after 7. And the hard-throwing left-hander Tony Watson is on to pitch for the Pirates.
Well, he's the last remaining guy. They used to have 3 tough lefties out of this bullpen, and I always liked his stuff. And you can see he's off to a terrific start.
He's better against righties than against lefties. Well, tomorrow the Mets get home for a Memorial Day afternoon game against the Phillies with Bartolo Colon on the mound against Severino Gonzalez. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30. And for more on the Phillies, let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary, as you said multiple times, the Phillies playing much better lately. 8-3 in their last 11 games coming into today. And also, as you said, it's because of the veteran guys really starting to turn things around. When last we saw Chase Utley, he was bordering the 100 batting average. During this streak, though, he's got a batting average over 300, 11 hits in the past 10 games for him, just 13 the first 30 games of the season. Ryan Howard's got 4 bombs during the streak, hitting close to 400. And Cole Hamels, even though we won't see him, he's actually won 4 in a row for the first time in a few years, 3 during the streak. But the starting pitching overall, an ERA just over 2 in the last 11 games. It's been really, really good.
A little number by Kadire, and Watson able to throw him out. Well, the only guy who was hot with the bat when the Mets saw the Phillies the last time was their shortstop, Freddie Galvis, and he's fallen down 3 for his last 27.
Ashe got off to the real red-hot start, and when he came in the last series, he was in a slump and really struggling.
Now in the minor leagues,
right,
learning how to play the outfield. Here's Eric Campbell batting for Daniel Murphy, with the Mets getting shellacked this afternoon. Campbell will try and find his way out of an 0 for 19 stretch. Got the day off today to sit back and try and figure his way through it. And he drives one deep to left field, down the line, over toward the corner. It's out of it. No, a foul ball, just foul. That was so close for Campbell.
Seems like the Mets just cannot catch a break.
Ball came within inches.
A little hook.
Gotta watch that hook. So Campbell back at the plate with an 0-1 count. And Watson pops him inside. The starter Francisco Liriano went 6, allowed a run on 6 hits, struck out 12. Jared Hughes had a 6-pitch 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. And now Watson getting his first appearance in the series, throws the off-speed pitch and gets ahead 1-2. John Mayberry waiting on deck. And Campbell down on strikes for the second out. It's going to be interesting to watch over the next few days to see whether the Mets look to make changes in their infield configuration now that it certainly appears David Wright's going to be out for a more considerable length of time. Whether that means bringing up Matt Reynolds, whether it means looking outside the organization. We mentioned earlier on the broadcast Casey McGee DFA'd today by the Giants. Don't know if he would be a target, but right now with this offense struggling so mightily, you'd have to think they would do something before this turns into a free fall.
Well, this lineup in particular today, you come to the ballpark and you got 2 of your guys that can't play. You find out Lagares and Duda. What are you going to do? It's a band-aid lineup.
But they have been struggling enough even with those guys.
I think that the brain trusts are in deep thought right now and deep conversation. What they need to do, or because it's slipping away, because the Nationals, I mean, they're still in the hunt here.
Slow ground ball by Mayberry. Gong slides over to get it. Stretched by Rodriguez. Stays in the bag. Nicely done to end the inning. Watson gets the Mets 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. Rodriguez doesn't have a lot of experience at first. Look at this stretch. That's how you pull a Home 7th inning. First pitch popped up by Starling Marte. The third baseman Campbell, who just stepped on the field, never saw it. And so Recker had to go 40 feet up the line to catch it in fair territory.
Really clearly not Recker's ball.
Ruben Tejada now playing second as Campbell pinch hit and stayed in the game at third.
It's almost halfway down the line, is it not? It is halfway down the line.
Campbell, when that ball went up, didn't have the sunglasses on and never saw it.
Now he's got them on. Where'd he have them?
On his hat.
Yep, that's not proper.
Jung Ho Gong flies one down the right field side. That'll go foul. So Gilmartin getting a second inning after giving up 2 runs and 3 hits in the 7th. John Neese went the first 4 2/3, allowed 4 runs, 7 hits. Eric Udell went inning in the third, 3 runs, 2 hits, and Gilmartin getting touched up as well. In the 9th, the Mets will have Recker, Siciliani, and Tejada coming up. The game was 1-1 going to the bottom of the 5th. Andrew McCutchen hit a 2-run homer. Marte hit a 3-run homer the next inning, and the rout was on.
Ask you a question. Here we are in a 9-1 blowout. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Do you notice when the home team's losing, the people leave early, but when the home team's way ahead, they don't leave?
Of course.
Is there a reason for that?
Because they want to celebrate at the end of the game.
Okay.
With the team.
Yeah, I was always a player, I'm just curious at the fan mentality.
They want to get to their feet with 2 out in the 9th and give you that thunderous applause. Some people are leaving, but the vast majority are here. Gong strikes out for the second out. First strikeout for Gilmartin. Let's check in with the studio. Joni Schwartz is a game break brought to you by Ford.
First baseman Sean Rodriguez.
If the Nats win and the Mets lose, Mets will be 2.5 back going into that series with the Phillies tomorrow. Sean Rodriguez 0 for 4 today. And he hits one up the middle, and Flores makes the diving stop, gets to his feet, and throws him out. So there's one within the range of Flores, and denies an infield hit that time. On to the 9th we go. Pirates 9, Mets 1.
Here's that Clemente swing once again. Look at that bat stay back. Cock. Now a trademark. Hitting off the front foot. Look at that right foot, the rear foot, a foot off the ground, something that is not advisable as a hitter.
Keith, how did he ever hit that way?
That was probably, I bet you, an off-speed pitch. He was a front foot hitter. So was Aaron. Hank Aaron. And that was the voice of Tony Kubek, by the way, one of the great gentlemen of the game, former Yankee shortstop. And Roberto just was a loosey-goosey hitter. I saw him hitting that World Series in, was it 70 or 71?
71.
McNally threw him, or was it Cuellar? I remember the camera was behind home plate. It was a very rare shot because usually the camera was over in center field. But it showed the shot from behind home plate, and it showed Clemente dropping his back foot, a slow curveball, outer half.
Record lines one. It's caught by Rodriguez for the first down. Going to interrupt you for a second, Keith. Sure. Get to our Verizon trivia question. Since 1900, Pirates have had the most batting titles in the National League. What franchise is second? Mets have had one, so I don't think it's them.
No. Clemente actually dropped his back foot and hit it going forward like that, and hit a home run over the right center field fence at Memorial. Was it Memorial Stadium?
Yep, in Baltimore.
And he had the great World Series, Clemente.
That was kind of his national coming out party, even though it was, 15 years into his career, his second to last season. Hit that great throw from right field to third base.
Yeah, he just showed his wares. It was like Brooks Robinson that year that showed everything.
The year before.
Yep, there he is. It's got to be an off-speed pitch, and he's on the attack. And, you
hear about front foot hitters, but imagine your foot that high in the air.
I've seen Aaron swing like that.
It's crazy. Archimedes Caminero pitching for the Pirates in the ninth, trying to get the final 2 outs. Daryl Siciliani's 0 for 3, and he lines one for a base hit. So Siciliani has his second career hit, his first one to reach the outfield.
Well, hit the ball hard his last time, a bullet right at the second baseman. This is back-to-back liners right here. Very nice.
So 1 out and 1 on. And now Ruben Tejada will bat. Tejada's 0 for 2 in a walk today. Scored the only men run back in the 5th inning.
So Archimedes Caminero, his full name is Archimedes Euclides Caminero, and his wife's name is Licinia. Sounds like out of a Ovid or something.
Can fill up the guest book. Answering our Verizon trivia question, second in National League batting titles, the Cardinals. Oh, put my little note at the bottom. The Mets out.
So I'm one of those 23.
Yes, you are. Tejada straightaway center, and McCutchen right there to grab it, and that's the second out of the ninth. Well, when we're done here, there's still plenty more here on SNY. WB Mason post-game live. Jonas Schwartz, Jim Duquette will be on hand with all your post-game conversation right after the game right here on SNY.
How many betting titles did Musial win? Was it 7? 9? I forget.
Kevin Plawecki will be the pinch hitter with the Mets down to their final out this afternoon. Caught the first 2 games of the series, went 1 for 6. Mets have scored just 4 runs in this 3-game series. Plawecki pops it up, and that'll come back out of play, and now the Mets are down to their last strike. 99 miles an hour from Archimedes Caminero. Not the first Archimedes to play in the major leagues. There was an Archimedes Pozo who played briefly back in the 90s. Plawecki fouls it back. Let's see. Mariano had 12 strikeouts. Watson had 1. So that's 13 today and 35 strikeouts for Pirate pitching in this series. Plawecki has to vacate 1 and 2.
Little fastball. And guy's throwing hard. That'll get your attention.
Siciliani takes second on defensive indifference. And that is defensive indifference, unlike the one they called in the second inning. Granderson would be next. 2-2 to Kevin Plawecki. And he goes down on strikes. 36 strikeouts for the Pirates in the series as they complete a 3-game sweep. Their first over the Mets here in Pittsburgh since 2009. Mets score 4 runs in the 3 games, strike out 36 times.